Oh, look, it's Hudson Soft. Oh.
Back from the dead, except not really.
Back in the year of 1997.
So welcome everyone to Bomberman 64. If you're watching this on Something Awful, you've no doubt seen the revival of the Bomberman mega thread. Just kind of explaining what's going on there while we watch the intro cutscene. This is all just going to be Let's Plays that were requested by my patrons on patreon.com. The mega thread isn't going to be focusing so much on Let's Plays by everyone, just the ones set there. And the first of those is Bomberman 64. We had talked a little bit about LPing this way back when he did Bomberman Hero, and as you can tell by my save files, this is my first actual successful completion of it, which should be interesting. Now, the story of Bomberman 64 is this big evil villain named Altair is using the power of this thing called the Omnicube to steal the life force from a bunch of different planets with the help of his lackeys, Artemis, Orion, and Regulus. Once they've done that to a planet, they actually take a chunk of it and latch it up onto their floating fortress. Then they take it to the next planet, steal the power there, latch it onto the fortress, move on. And we actually catch them in the middle of invading what turns into level 2 of the game. And when they're done with that, they decide to move on to Planet Bomber as their next target. So Bomberman's job is to unlink the different pieces of the planets, which will open up the barrier around their fortress and take down Altair and his buddies.
So those pieces of planet are basically going to drift into space and everyone on it's going to die.
No, they're going to crash into Planet Bomber and everyone's going to die there.
Oh, so Bomberman's just keeping up with that, okay. Ooh, Power Ranger characters. What kind of cooler looking. Look, I'm trying to be positive.
Yeah, these are our bosses for the game.
Are they kind of like Mega Man-esque, where they're like power-themed?
Not really. They do have different powers, each of them, but no real themes, necessarily.
I'm gonna call them the Council of the Cube.
Sounds like a rap group from like the 1980s. Council of the Cube!
No, it doesn't.
I'd like to imagine it does. Look it up on Google or something. I'm sure it exists.
If I look it up, is it just gonna be a picture of you?
I mean, possibly. I mean, come on, there's a Ned Flanders metal band now, so there could possibly be a Council of the Cube.
This is one of the few Bomberman games not composed by Jun Chikuma, which is why the melodies and just the sound of the instruments that they use doesn't sound like any other Bomberman game, but I like it a lot. It's a very nostalgic soundtrack for me, even though the game itself isn't that great.
Oh, apparently that Bomberman deflated. And he's dead now.
Not yet, now he's dead.
Oh, God. Well, now he's doing the worm.
It's basically, he turned into that secretary from Jurassic World.
Rest in peace, Secretary Lady.
Although we doubt it.
Rest in pieces.
Yep. I don't even know what's going on. I mean...
This guy's going to be our friend for most of the game. He's going to help us early on, give us some tutorial information, tell us a little bit about the bosses that we'll be facing. And then he'll just kind of disappear.
So he just shows up and gives advice and then leaves?
Or just stays there, in the middle of a warfield.
This game screams suddenly plot.
Basically.
So you're just walking around in the woods and then like, oh shit, and then the guy shows up. You're gonna save the world, right? He's like, I guess? Oh, you get to pick which one to start?
Yep, we can. Each of the levels has a different theme correlated to a certain color. Green was more of like ancient ruins.
We'll see how untouchable that treasure is here in a minute.
That he's gonna stop us.
Yep. They actually have pictures for tutorials? Because, you know, kids can't read.
I love he has to teach you how to walk.
Wait, before you save the world, you might want to learn how to walk.
This is the first proper 3D Bomberman game, and they did not get it right the first time. So even though our buddy here is telling us how to play the game has this strange sense of physics that even the game itself never quite figured out. As we're going to see. So in the earlier Bomberman 2D games, when you placed a bomb and it exploded, it would explode in a grid pattern. For this game, this is the first one where it explodes into a sphere. So the game operates more on that than, say, Super Bomberman did.
I guess that treasure got touched. It's now not untouchable.
And you broke it!
Now the point for this level is we need to activate those switches, and those will break down the barrier so we can actually touch the gem. There's no reason for us to get the gem, but that's just our exit.
I like he ran by the tutorial guy. I'm like, nope, no talking.
I was gonna say, wow, you're pretty good at this game, but then I realized, oh, that's the timer. I thought it was like your score going up.
No, that is a timer.
I was kind of wishing when you walked into that creature's mouth, you would have lost a life. Just like, why did you do that?
Like, you did not listen to the tutorial. I taught you how to walk.
I was gonna imagine when he said, teach me how to walk, like, I can imagine Bomberman standing up and then landing on his butt and start clapping like a baby. It's,
I like how the guy's name is Sirius, but spelled with with like eyes.
like the radio station.
I think so. Like Sirius Black.
But he's Sirius White. Yeah, exactly.
Highbrow entertainment.
StrawhatNO.
StrawhatNO. We're like Frasier.
Are we?
No.
So I just breezed through the stage there. The reason I did that, I'm going to be going through each stage twice. The first time is going to be a speed run because you'll notice I got a gold card there. The point of the game is to collect gold cards. And if you do a level under a certain time, you get a card there. But you're not able to get the other gold cards you collect in the level. They're just too far spread out, and way too far out of your way than just going to the exit. And the weird thing is, the first level is probably one of the hardest to get the other collectibles in, because this is the first time where we have to do bomb jumps. I think we did a little bit of this in Bomberman Generation and Jetters, but this is their first implementation of it, and they did not really know what they were doing, I think. You have to do a thing called bomb stairs, and this is my first attempt at it. It doesn't go quite well, but what you're able to do is to drop bombs or to pick them up and pump them up, and depending on the size and their location, you're able to jump on them and get progressively higher. You'll notice the timer at the top turned red. That's a signal you're not able to get the gold card for time anymore. But after several attempts, I was able to get up here and go to the teleporter. You have to go into this one in order to get all the other collectibles.
I was kind of wishing that enemy that walked into the jumper got there before you did, and then you just feel embarrassed.
We'll be coming back to that enemy later. It has an item in it that is very necessary for the game. But for now, I'm trying and failing hilariously to kill this bird.
That bomb really doesn't give you much time to get away from it.
No. Well, that is actually the remote bomb. You need the remote bomb in order to do the bomb jumps, otherwise you're just gonna kill yourself.
I just like the concept of bomb stairs.
Yeah. Right. Wait until I figure out how to get onto these stairs. This is such nonsensical bullshit, and this is why I think the game wasn't planned so well. You need to do this. You need to whack yourself in the head with a bomb, and then land on another bomb that you had just set down, and then slowly shimmy your way onto the stairs from there.
That sounds like such bullshit. Like, I feel like that's a total mistake.
If you notice, when you get hit either with one of your bombs or if you walk into an enemy, Bomberman gets dazed. You don't immediately lose health unless you get caught in an explosion. But that item I picked up is the Ultra Bomb. This game has collectibles for both the amount of bombs you can drop and how big the explosion is. An Ultra Bomb basically counts as a fully upgraded bomb. Not bomb dropped, but the bomb explosion on its own. So, one Ultra Bomb counts as... Like, there are some obstacles that can only be destroyed by an Ultra Bomb. Some of them you might be able to destroy with a pumped-up regular bomb, but one small Ultra Bomb counts as that on its own. You can also pick up dazed enemies and throw them, which is great.
I'm just imagining, because that broken mechanic of trying to climb stairs and things, that the tutorial guy is gonna have to somehow explain that to Bomberman. Just like, well, you see, you have to smack yourself in the face with your own bomb, okay, got it? And you're supposed to bounce onto another bomb, dizzy, and you're gonna bounce your ass until you shimmy across a pixel. Now, if you keep pushing the pixel, you'll make it past it and somehow overcome stairs. I wanna learn how to walk too, buddy.
That's the problem with this game. Nothing is really explained to you. And the worst thing that isn't explained to you is you need 100 gold cards, which is basically everything in order to access the final level. Yes.
So I'm assuming this game came with a strategy guide.
I don't know. It came with a manual, which didn't tell you enough.
The manual says there's no strategy guide.
And that's it. So, a couple of things that happened that we missed. One, the little seed thing that I killed dropped a heart. That's your extra hit. You can only have one heart at a time, but when you do, if you get caught in an explosion or anything happens to you, save for falling into a bottomless pit, you'll be able to survive that. The heart will jump out of you, though, and you'll have to recollect it, otherwise you do not have that extra backup. And also, that little turtle enemy is an example of an enemy that can only be killed by a pumped-up bomb and getting thrown on his head. Most enemies can be hurt by the pumped-up bomb just by throwing it on them, but that was an example of one that otherwise has so much health that that's only your best option.
For fuck's sake.
What's even happening?
Exactly. I somehow managed it. I feel like I did that wrong, but I got it anyway.
So are we teaching the people viewing this anything? I mean, like...
If you're paying attention.
I guess.
The best part is, that's one of the collectibles that isn't a gold card. There's both gold cards and custom costume items. Costume items, as you might be surprised to find, don't do anything. So, oh well. Oh, and that's another one of those. There's 2 gold cards that are the exact same in every level. One's the time card. The other is if you kill 30 enemies. And you can check the status on that on the pause menu. It'll tell you current time, current enemies killed, and how many of the gold cards you have. This area down here doesn't have any significant purpose, except all of these blocks contain gems. Gems, when you collect 50 of them, you get an extra credit. Not an extra life, an extra credit.
Like for college?
You wish. No. Lives, anytime you start up a game, you have 3 lives. When you lose all your lives and you game over, you have the option to use a credit to continue the game. You lose all of your power-ups, though. You retain them if you die and lose a life, but if you have to continue and use a credit, you have to start from square one. I'm proud of this shot, though.
Oh, it's a continue. Oh, so it's like arcadey. Okay.
Yeah, it's more arcadey. Travis did mention when I sent him the video, this looked like an SNES game brought into 3D. Do you still get that sense, Travis, watching this?
Video-wise, yeah, I mean, the look of it, but, like, I guess their attempts to be innovative with some of the game control things, not so much.
Yeah, the game doesn't really work. And you don't quite see this. It's a little finicky to control because the game still kind of, like Bomberman still kind of moves on the grid. Even though it's a 3D space, which makes controlling him a little tense.
And you mentioned this was probably one of the launch titles of the N64, or at least one of the very early ones.
Yeah, 97.
So, I mean, it's pretty obvious that there was some polishing that took place between this and Bomberman Hero. And that's saying something.
Yeah, but the most damnable thing, I think, of all this is Bomberman Hero is a better game than Bomberman 64. And you remember the Let's Play for Bomberman Hero, I think.
I think.
A number of the people watching, at least. I know you do.
It was a bit of a blur.
I fucked that up. Inside that little column is another custom item. For these first 5 levels...
Well, fuck you, right? I mean, yeah, I guess you don't need it.
Yeah, for these first 5 worlds, I am getting all of the gold cards. I'm not necessarily getting all the custom items, though, because they're not necessary. But I will show you where they are, at the very least. Since it was such BS there, though, I am going back and getting that custom item. The annoying thing about that is if you fall into the water, you have to go all the way down, up to the stairs in order to get out.
Of course you do.
And if you press that item that slows down the river, it's even worse. Got a new enemy here.
So is this one of the popular launch titles?
People have a lot of nostalgia for it.
Oh, alright.
Is that a kind of like a masochist thing, or?
I don't know. I think it's just a nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
There is kind of a consensus that it's not very good, but it is a very nostalgic game.
Because I know there were other ones on the 64, like one called like The Second Attack or something.
Yes. And if you are curious, no, I'm not playing that.
Unless you ask for it on Patreon.
No. It was asked for on Patreon, then I recorded a bit of it, found it's terrible, begged the patrons to let me play something else, and they let me.
Had another Patreon goal, was like, hey, how about we not let Austin play?
I like the idea of a Patreon goal that's like the sweet release of death from this game.
No, in place of the Second Attack, I'm instead playing the rest of the Super Bombermans. Because in the first run of the Bomberman Mega Threat, I played the first one, but the Mega Threat sort of died before we could go into the second.
You learn how to walk, now let's fight.
Yes.
Wait!
So the second stage of every world is a boss fight with one of the other Bomber characters. Sirius, in this case, he doesn't try very hard, but he's a good example of all of the gold cards that you're going to get for most of the others.
Oh.
When you bop the other bombers in the head with a big bomb, you get a gold card. If you catch them in the explosion of the big bomb, you also get another. Sirius is incredibly easy, because I got those two just from catching him in the first blast. And the last two cards are just to kill him in under the time limit. And then the best one, the last card is just to kill him, period. So he's really not hard.
I feel like the bad guys are watching from a distance of spice and just face palming the whole time.
I just like how
He walked up and kicked a bomb, it didn't move, and it exploded in his face. That was great.
I was gonna ask, like, well, it's only been one level, and all you did was, like, push switches and blow up glass and touch a gem, and he's like, let's see if you remember everything that you learned.
You walked forward very good.
This game is very silly, really, yeah. The bad thing about every single boss fight, though, if you don't get all 5 gold cards, you can't go back and get the ones you missed. You have to get all 5 of them in one go.
Wow.
Yeah, if you were to go back and get the ones you missed, it only counts the amount of cards you have, not which ones you got. I mean, you can go back and try again, but you still have to get them in the same fight. So this is another kind of silly level. Again, we have to go to the Crystal Gem, but this time a narwhal steals it, and we have to go chasing it.
I love this kind of 80s, like, shonen anime music that they're playing for you, where you're just like, it's my first day of high school, I'm Bomberman. You run out with a toast in your no mouth.
Oh, one thing I love about Bomberman's design, if you look closely, his eyes aren't connected to his head.
It's just Rayman, but his eyes.
Yeah.
Just kind of floating.
Not even his eyes, his whole face. It's popped out of his helmet.
Fuck you, narwhal.
So now I need to go back to the first area to go to another one.
So would you describe this more as a platformer or a puzzle game?
I'd describe it as a puzzle game trying to be a platformer and not knowing how to do it. Because there's a good bit of platforming, mostly to get to the secrets, but as you saw earlier, you have to do some ridiculous finagling with the physics that sometimes I'm not sure was intentional. Sirius helps us out for the final time, though.
You mean he could have done that earlier, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, wait. He was flying. Why didn't he just touch the stupid gem?
Because we're the hero.
Decided by Sirius. Yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly.
Hey, you're the hero now, so you have to do it. That's the laziest bullshit.
But you can fly.
Sirius, you lazy bastard.
and do bombs. We're at a major disadvantage.
Look, you can fly. I have to bounce like 15 bombs in very unusual positions to get anywhere on the map.
To make stairs, Sirius.
Sirius, are you serious?
Smack.
You punch the
smack,
crystal, it shatters.
Smack. Now for the run where I get all the collectibles. First one is off to this left path. These are a lot easier to get than the ones in the first level.
That makes sense too.
Really though, right?
We decided to make the tutorial level the hardest level in this area.
I'm incredibly proud of that right there. You need to be careful if you get hit near water. Bomberman can't swim in this. He needs to get his bottom half chewed off in Bomberman Hero before he gets that ability.
I was about to say, I was like, I don't remember his ability to swim. Oh yeah, he becomes a submarine.
Yeah.
Bomber change.
In order to get this costume item, this one's very tricky. First, you need to kick the bomb under that elevator, and then you need to blow up a big bomb, and you need to get it as far onto the edge as possible. And then you need to throw another pumped-up bomb onto it. Now, take the elevator, climb up there. You can't do this if you've blown up that bridge. So you need to do this one first.
For a while, I thought the puzzle was blow up the river.
That'd be cooler.
It would also make more sense, you know, Bomberman.
And then you need to do this.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
This game is fucking broken, man. I'm only one video in and I'm just like throwing down air like my books and knocking over shit.
Yeah, I heard a sound. I'm like, is that Travis giving up?
No, that was me whacking my hand on my desk.
Oh.
I give up more quietly, I guess.
Thankfully, when you go back through the teleporter, it doesn't drop you in the area where you would have to die. By the way, if you game over, you lose everything you had collected, including the gold cards and the custom items.
Okay, to be fair, people have told us before that sometimes we complain about games too much, and personally, I have no nostalgia factor for this game, so I'm seeing it just for kind of a first-time viewage, and I'm thinking back going, you know, Bomberman Hero wasn't that bad.
Do we need to do just a retrospective playthrough of Bomberman Hero just for fun?
Oh, hell no.
like we take a stroll through Bomberman Hero. You know, not that bad.
You know, this time I could put down the gun.
And it's not complaining, it's criticism.
Yeah.
Because I could be a lot bitchier about this game. I had to play it.
That's true. And, you know, honestly, like, I'm not complaining about the music. I like the music, too. It's kind of catchy, and...
I love the music in this game.
And the characters, honestly, I'll put it this way. The Bomberman 64 enemies are way more interesting than the ones in Hero.
They have actual designs.
The actual designs. The ones in Hero are just, like, sticks with springs and stuff like that. It's just, when you find a game that's so broken in its gameplay... It just hurts your head sometimes.
Yeah.
Plus it hurts my head. It's like, how did you guys figure out how to do this? Just by mistakes?
And we're also being fair. We did acknowledge that it is a launch title.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the 64, and we do know that it came out in 1997, which meant that I would have been 4 or 3, depending on the release date of this game.
Just shown here that the gold card is in that block, but I had actually gotten it at a previous recording. That's all that was happening there.
Also, you can kind of miss that your character doesn't jump in this one. So again, that's a little nod to Hero that you could actually jump.
Yeah.
You think when the boardroom meeting, like, during the game's development for Hero, they were like, what if Bomberman could jump? And then the room just went silent.
No, keep in mind, Bomberman Hero was supposed to be a bonk title.
Oh yeah, that's true. There wasn't even... So, like, at this point, like, the Bomberman crew is just like, ah, fuck, I put the skin on him. Wait, we gave him jump! Ah, shit.
How do we explain that?
Good camera there.
Oh, come on!
Well, you see, Bomberman put 2 bombs in his shoes, therefore.
I get a little confused here, because I think there's no way they want me to jump over that gap on my own.
Especially since he falls down straight like a lead weight, just woo.
But it turns out, no, that's what they do want.
Okay.
Oh my god.
They allow you enough forward momentum to make that gap.
So what's the point of that other set of stairs?
It's just there. Also, there's a hidden wall.
Does it go anywhere?
It does. One thing you're probably noticing is the custom parts are a lot harder to find than the gold cards. Which I do appreciate, because you need all the gold cards to get the final level. You don't need the custom parts for anything except for, like, multiplayer.
Okay, if you have to fight the camera to get into a hidden area...
Yeah. It's time for the boss of Green Garden. It's a dragon.
Now, one cool thing I'll admit is that when you're on that little overworld page selecting it, you can see the dragon flying around that segment of the overworld, so I think that's actually kind of cool.
That is pretty cool.
Does the dragon disappear once he's defeated?
I don't know, actually. I haven't checked.
I guess we'll find out. Assuming you defeat him, of course.
Yeah, I'm gonna just die for the rest of the LP. 6 videos just of this guy. The bosses for pretty much every world sort of have the same thing. You need to not kill him immediately, you need to actually burn off different parts of him. In this case, his tail, his wings, and I think his head, but also keep in mind, his body is his weak spot, and if you hit that, he's going to lose health, and you might actually kill him before he can get the gold cards.
Keep in mind, to get the best results, don't kill him, just torture him.
Exactly. No, that's literally how you do it. For every boss.
Make him die in the worst imaginable way possible.
Torture him, but keeping him. Oh my god! Have you beat him that way? I'm just like, you know what? You guys are on your own.
I would have started clapping. I would have said, you know what? I think I know what Game of the Year '97 was.
I'll have to look up 1997 to see if there's any other games to be able to add remarks to that.
There were no other games. It was just this.
There was a major legal battle to make sure Bomberman 64 was the only one.
Just wait until Red Mountain. The boss for that, one of the ways you get the gold cards immediately kills it, so you have to get it last.
Okay, there's a part of me, and maybe this just because I'm kind of got sucked into the Bomberman bullshit, but the fact that this boss looks normal is disappointing to me.
Yeah.
What were you expecting? A slinky with arms?
Well, maybe like, okay, we got a dragon, it's got the head of a sheep, and somehow has like robot tentacles.
God damn it.
And happens to be yellow and purple. And plays a harmonica.
With its feet.
With its feet, yes. It just rubs its feet on the harmonica and it plays notes.
I was just checking to make sure I wasn't running out of time. The downsides of pretty much all the bosses is there's a lot of waiting. And you can run out the clock just waiting for them to get close.
I was about to say that little fire thing, that's the most pathetic flame attack I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Did you do it?
I did it!
Oh, it died. Okay. Is he like on a bridge in the sky?
Mm-hmm.
But how does he get down?
I don't know.
How does he keep standing up with his head bigger than his body?
But once you kill the boss, the chain connected to Altair's base disintegrates, and then we can move on to the next area. Once we've gotten rid of all the chains, we're able to get up into the fortress, because there's a barrier that for some reason can only be broken by getting rid of all of the little trophies he's collected of all the planets he's destroyed. You'd think you'd figure something out other than that.
Okay, sincere question. Did that say you've been playing for an hour and 30 minutes to that point?
I probably had.
Thorn, I am so sorry.
Remember when I said this game was hard?
Oh my god.
Remember when I said you need to get all the gold cards in a boss in one go?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, here's something I didn't tell you. There are 120 gold cards total. There's 100 to get into the final area, and then there's 20 in that area. if you get all 120 cards in under 4 in-game hours, you get a secret outfit. I'm going to show in the video what that looks like. Good, now I'm not going to do that, because fuck this fucking game.
One video in, we got there!
Yes!
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
I'm not even gonna Bomberman Hero started out, no, I actually really like this game. No, I recorded all of this before we started this LP. This game is terrible.
Oh my god.
New record!
Thor, do you want to take a vacation after this Let's Play?
Like
another one?
If people were gonna force me to play through the second attack, yes. They let me stop that and do the Super Bombermans, which I enjoyed playing through every single one of them, so no, I'm good now. Also, immediately after Bomberman 64, we're going into Saturn Bomberman, which is the best Bomberman, and is a really good game with a fucking awesome soundtrack, so I'm good now.
Okay, I was gonna say, Olivia, get ready, he's coming back.
No, that was I recorded all these before I went to Canada, keep in mind.
So
That was my unwinding.
Once you got off the plane, you just collapse and just went, Bomberman 64.
This is so angry though. I'm going to Canada! Fucking Bomberman!
Bomberman Mega Threat!
There, I got all my bile out, for the most part. Well, until we get to the actual bad levels, but whatever.
Wait, what?
Yeah, this was a good level in comparison.
That wasn't the bad level?
If you're just playing through the game for fun and you don't care about that final area, it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, I guess. Because I could tell, like, the game just seems to breeze by if you just play it normally. It's like, I guess the completionists are just like, all around me are familiar faces.
Well, the problem is, remember I said what the gameplay is kind of finicky? Like, Bomberman's still kind of running up, down, left, right, and diagonals. There's no real smooth movement. It's very easy to just fall off the cliffs in this game.
So it's best like Dark Souls.
Dark Souls controls well.
But if one toe goes over a cliff, you just go down.
They must have played this game for that inspiration. It's like, I think I have a great idea for a game.
Dark Souls. We could base off of Bomberman 64. I mean, there's a flying thing that picks you up, and leads you on your quest. Just like Dark Souls.
Just guys just wandering around with knives.
Yep.
The precursor to Dark Souls. And Demon Souls.
This is going to be kind of fun because people are going to be watching going like, how quickly will the crew go into delirium? Tune in to find out.
30 minutes.
But I actually want to see more now.
We want to see how deep hell goes. Yes. Again, we're not playing Second Attack, which I'm going to ask you, would you rather play Second Attack than this?
I'd rather play this than Second Attack.
Oh.
Thing is, Second Attack is okay until you get to the Wind Temple. And then the entire thing is played at a Dutch angle.
Ew.
But there's block moving puzzles, but Bomberman still moves up, down, left, right, and everything. So it's impossible to control. And that level alone, just playing through that broke me.
Okay, okay. Thorn, I have to apologize for any complaining I've ever made about Bomberman, because goddamn it. To be fair, you kind of set yourself up for this.
I can't argue with that, admittingly.
That's kind of more of a...
The things you do for Let's Play.
Really, though. The things I do for people who support me. The things I do to get Travis to yell at me.
Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of Bomberman.
Oh, wow. Okay. The next video.
On the Blue Resort.